all my colleagues present on stage, Shri K.C. Venugopalji, Shri Chennitalaji, and all my Kerala colleagues over here, and all my colleagues from Wayanad as well. I welcome all of you to this meeting, and I want to say how grateful I am for the immense love that all of you are giving me. A few days ago, I came to Wayanad to file my nomination papers to become the UDF candidate from Wayanad. I was arriving in my hotel at around 8 o'clock at night when on this road I saw 3 or 4 people standing, so I stopped and started speaking to them. One of them was from the army and he spoke Hindi also, so he explained to me that he had traveled all around the country with his job in the army. And he said that my mother wants to meet you, but he said she couldn't walk up to here because she has a problem with her leg. So I said, take me to your house. And I walked with him towards his house. When I reached his house, it was already dark. And in the veranda of his house, I saw his mother. She was wearing a white long dress. She was waiting. And when she saw me, she had never seen me before. She had never seen me before, but when she saw me, she hugged me and held me as if I was her child. And I can truthfully tell you, I did not feel any difference in the way she held me and the way my mother holds me. She held my hand and took me in her home. She made me sit down and she put her rosary in my hand. Her name is Frisia, and she told me, this rosary you give to your mother. I felt like I have not even stepped into Wayanad and I already have a mother here. That is how you made me feel in the first moment that I stepped onto your soil. When I was sitting next to Frisia and she handed me the rosary, it reminded me immediately of when I was 19 years old. My father had just died, and maybe 6 or 7 months later, Mother Teresa had come to my house to meet my mother. I had fever, so I was lying down in my bed. I didn't go out of the room. But she asked to see me, and she came into my room and she sat by my bedside and she put her hand on my head. And just like Frisia, she took my hand and she put her rosary in my hand. And I think she saw that I was suffering because my father had died and I was troubled. And she probably may have realized that maybe I had fever because I was suffering and I was sad. And she said to me, you come and work with me. So about 5 or 6 years later, after I got married and I had my own home, I went to work with Mother Teresa sisters in Delhi. So I started, my job was to teach the little children there some English and some Hindi. This is the first time that I'm talking about this in public, but it has a context. So my job was to teach the children, but on Tuesdays we also cleaned the bathrooms, we washed and mopped the floors. I helped to cook the food sometimes. Sometimes we taught them how to paint. Sometimes we took them for outings. And by working with them, I began to understand their suffering and their pain and what service means. And how a community can support those who have less, those who are suffering, those who are in trouble. When I came here with my brother after the terrible landslide, I immediately recognized the way the community came together to help people. I saw that each one of you, no matter what religion you were from, no matter what your profession was, each one of you did whatever you could to help the other. Many times in situations like this where there are disasters, you also see human greed. You see people trying to be greedy or taking more away from those who are suffering. I never saw that over here. Even the youngest of children who had lost their entire families had a lot of dignity. They talked to us, they spoke to us with dignity, with a certain inner pride, which made me proud of them. You are a courageous people. It's in your history. You fought against the British. You rose up when people were afraid to rise. You have a beautiful, I would say, all your hills, your forests are so beautiful. I was flying over them today and I could see the river was looking like a silver string running through it. It was so beautiful. You have a beautiful land. A rich history. The Arakkal caves. And a history of harmony amongst people, where everyone from every religion lives in harmony and peace together. You are an agricultural community that feeds the whole nation. Your values are strong. You believe in equality, social justice. It is apparent everywhere. You are followers of Narayan Guruji, and you honor the teachings of all the religions of people who live here. How can I not be the proudest person in India today to have this opportunity to represent you? If you elect me, it will be the greatest honor for me. You know the times we are living in, when there is a BJP government at the center, where fear and mistrust and anger is spread amongst different communities. You have seen the attacks that take place on minorities. You have seen what's happened in Manipur. You have seen again and again the spread of anger, the spread of hatred by this government, concerted in a planned fashion. The values of our constitution are constantly being subverted. And policy after policy is made to favor the Prime Minister's friends rather than for the good of the public. There is no compassion for our farmers who toil in the heat and the dust day in and day out. There is no compassion for them. There is no understanding of the traditions and no respect for the tribal peoples. Their lands are taken away and given away to big businessmen. Here in Wayanad, you have a strong agricultural community. You grow coffee, rice, pepper, ginger, areca. Again and again, the promises to give you MSP for your crops ring hollow. Your tourism industry is strong, but so much more can be done to strengthen it further. I see so many small shops, small businesses. All of you have suffered because of the government's policies. While you have to answer to them for GST and all sorts of taxes, and prices are rising, and my sisters find it difficult to move forward. Big businessmen flourish and they get all the benefits from the central government. Unemployment is at an all-time high in the country. Parents work hard to educate their children, but they see no future for them. You have a hub of sports here, and I know you love soccer, but your facilities are not good enough. They need to be improved. New opportunities need to be created for all these young boys who train so hard and work so hard to play for their state, to play for their country. And over the years, because of the change in the kind of crops you're growing, you have developed a water issue here as well that needs resolution. The tribal community needs access to healthcare, needs better access to education. You need better houses. While I was coming here, some girls were standing outside their school. They stopped me and I asked them, what is the biggest thing that you think needs to be done? And they told me again about the medical college and how important healthcare services are. I know my brother has been fighting for it, and he has managed, at least with some pressure, to get some progress. But I promise you to fight as hard as him, if not harder, so that they should provide you with the facilities. Another gentleman stopped me on the road while coming here, and he told me, he said, promise me that you are going to fight about the night ban, because I come from that side and I do not get leave of 2 days. And I have to leave at 4 o'clock to be able to come through the forest. He said, promise me you will fight for it. And he said, promise that you will fight to find some resolution, as much as can be done for the man and animal conflict that we are facing. So I'm beginning to get an understanding of what are the real issues here, and what are the things that are really close to your heart that you want resolution for. But this is just the beginning for me. I want to come to you, I want to meet you, understand from you, my sisters standing here, my brothers, my farmer brothers, my tribal brothers and sisters. I want to hear from you directly what are your concerns, how we should work towards it and find solutions together with you. I understand what my responsibility is. When I see you all standing here and you've come here to hear me speak, I know that you are coming here out of love for my brother also. I am his sister. I know what a heavy heart he had when he had to leave you. You gave him love when everybody had turned their back on him. It is you, each one of you, each one standing here, each person who lives in Wayanad, every brother, every sister, every child, every mother, every father who gave him the courage to walk 4,000 kilometers and travel another 4,000 kilometers across this country for unity and peace. He has a deep relationship with you. He even tells me, not just in public, in private also he tells me that you are his family. He does not treat you like an electorate, he treats you like a family. Today we are fighting a very big battle. And he is leading that battle. And all of us are fighting for the values on which this country was built. We are fighting for the values of our constitution. Today we are fighting for democracy. Today we are fighting for equality. Today we are fighting for the truth. And each one of you is an important soldier in this fight. So please understand that along with me, you also have a responsibility towards your country. Because if there is a time to stand for what is right, if there is a time to stand for the truth, if there is a time to stand up for democracy, it is now. And each one of you with this one vote of yours can stand up for the right thing. So somebody asked me, one journalist while I was coming here, what is your expectation, Priyanka ji? And he was saying, so many lakh votes and so many lakh votes. That is not my expectation. My expectation is simply that you look within your hearts and you recognize what is happening around you today, and you recognize that this is the time where your vote has to go for democracy, for peace, for equality, for India. As far as I am concerned, if you choose to elect me as your member of parliament, I can promise you this: I will work as hard for you as I possibly can. I will stand side by side with you and I will fight for your issues. I will raise your voice in parliament. I will do everything in my power to help you resolve what your issues are. I will fight for the young people of Wayanad, especially for my young girls, for my sisters, for a strong and independent future for all of you. If you give me your trust, I will not let you down. So I hope to see you again soon. And I hope that if you do elect me as your MP, you will be happy with me and you will see that I will not let you down. I am most grateful for the love you have given me. Even in this 1.5 hours since I have landed here and I have reached your meeting, I have got nothing but love for you. And no matter what, that love will always be reciprocated in my heart and I will always be here for you. Thank you. Thank you.